Hello Gemini, so I'm doing your weekly reading for November the 21st to the 28th. I'm going to take a look into what is going on in your situation. We'll find out why it's happening. We'll look at your blind spot. We'll also figure out what it is that's working for you and how it is all likely going to play out as well. So you have got the moth, beautiful energy, mystery, concealment and illusion. So, the moth. This one is work that is taking place under the cover of darkness, right? It's nothing bad, don't worry. I know the word darkness it can be a little bit, unnerving, right? When you consider that moths are the nighttime pollinators, right? So this one can demonstrate that you're doing something very, very important and you're not expecting to gain a lot of attention for what it is that you're doing, right? Everybody knows the bees, right? The bees are the ones that kind of get all of the credit for being these fantastic pollinators, right? And while that is true, there are a lot of pollinators that don't get attention, right? The wasp being one. And yeah, even up until recently, even I thought that wasps were pretty much pointless, right? They were just an irritating nuisance, right? No, they're not just that. They are very effective pollinators as well. Very, very necessary. They just don't get the much love and as much attention as what the bumblebees do, right? Moths are kind of the same. Their work goes largely unnoticed because, again, a lot of people see the moth as being a bit of a nuisance, okay, gets in your home, chews holes in your clothes and all the rest. They don't particularly get a good press, right? Which is kind of unfair, and that's why they're associated with mystery and concealment, okay? Like it literally says mystery, concealment and illusions. So you're doing something that is very, very important, Gemini, and you might not get a lot of attention for it, but that's not going to stop you. In fact, if anything, because of this moth energy, that's going to make you pursue it even harder. That's going to make you double down with whatever this is that you're focused on right now. It's very, very important work that you're doing here. And that's why I said it's under the cover of darkness, right? Because it's not likely going to get much attention immediately. You will get attention, right? Whether you want it or not. Whether that's your goal or not, you will get attention eventually. It's just not going to be immediate. And that's what the moth is telling you, okay? Now, also with this one, moths, they are compelled to seek out the light, okay? Even when it's likely going to hurt them. Sometimes the moth can be a symbol for addictions because of that, right? Now, it could be that maybe you have put to rest some addictions of your own. We all have or have had some type of addiction, right? It could literally be anything. Gaming too much, shopping too much, smoking, right? You name it. This can indicate you putting to rest certain addictions so that they are no longer in control of you, but you being in control of it. And I'm telling you, if you're human, you would have had some sort of addiction. It might not be an immediately obvious one because this is a subtle energy with it being the moth. It is about the subtleties. It could be recognizing that perhaps a certain habit has gotten a little bit out of hand. Maybe you work too much, right? Working can be an addiction. It absolutely can. So this is making peace with any kind of unhealthy behaviors, habits, or addictions, so that they are no longer controlling you, but you controlling it. The moth card, it also tells you that perhaps something or someone around you isn't quite what it seems, or they're not quite who they're making out that they are, okay? So the moth here is asking for you guys this week to definitely use your discernment and to search for the truth, and yet to follow the light, okay? It's asking for you not to allow yourself to be blinded, because there could be something going on in your life that is needing illumination, right? It's needing that light, that light. I'm going to screw up my words here, Gemini. It needs light shining upon it, okay? In order for you to take control of the situation. So this is uncovering the truth, making peace with any old habits or addictions, and doing something that is not necessarily going to get you attention instantly, but it will get you attention, positive attention, eventually. So there is also a message here of patience that's being conveyed through this moth energy. And again, the process that the moth had to go through in order to become the moth, very, very difficult, very arduous, very painful, right? I know the butterfly gets a lot of attention for the difficult journey that it's been through. Where does the moth get a look in? It tends not to, not really, which again, it's a bit unfair, right? Because the moth has gone through the same process that the butterfly has gone through. But guess what? The butterfly gets the attention for that because it seemed to be more beautiful, okay? The moth reminds you that looks are not everything. Looks are not, excuse the pun, the be-all and end-all, right? At the bottom of the deck, you've got the buds, which means growth and evidence of growth. Evidence that something that you're doing here, Gemini, it is effective, it is working, it has taken root, it is growing. That could be a metaphor for your own personal growth. Again, the difficult process that you had to go through with that becoming something that is unrecognizable, which would be that mush. Okay, the stage from the caterpillar to the moth, you had to become something that was unrecognizable. It didn't even look alive at one point. It was so unrecognizable. You couldn't even tell that it was an animal until you had to rebuild yourself piece by piece. This one is new beginnings and expansion that comes off of the back of your difficult journey. Okay? There is a lot of growth here, Gemini. There is. And maybe it's only you that can see it right now, because with it being buds, those flowers haven't yet opened. And when those metaphorical flowers do open, that's when everyone else gets to see the result. I feel that the combination of all of these messages, Gemini, is you needing to be focused on giving yourself credit where credit's due, okay? There is a message here about perhaps feeling like you're a bit of an outsider, again with this moth energy. Your story is yet to be told. That's what I feel this message is. Your story is yet to be told. There's also a message here about unconventional. Either you're doing something that is deemed as being unconventional, unusual, or a bit different, or perhaps that's just like your personality, which again, that's something to be celebrated, right? What's the point of everybody being the same? There isn't any point at all. And in fact, the world would be a very boring place if everybody was exactly the same, right? You're doing something quite unusual, or you are a very unusual and thus unconventional individual. That doesn't mean to say that you shouldn't be giving yourself the kudos and the credits that are due to you, okay? So, I'm going to take a deeper look into this message for you before we take a look at the other cards. So the reasons behind why this is happening, your blind spot, what it is that's working for you, and how it's all going to play out, okay? Can you tell us more about this moth energy? Maybe it's you that isn't who everyone else assumes that you are. Maybe there's a secret part of you, and I very much suspect is the case, with buds being your strongest overall message. Maybe it's you that isn't who everyone else just assumes that you are. Because again, remember with the moth, someone or something isn't quite as they seem. And I think that it's you, Gemini. Eight of Swords, yeah. Feeling stuck, feeling like you have to perform, even when you're not really feeling it. Feeling like you don't really have much of a choice. This is the way that I have to be. Nah, fuck that. Fuck that. The Eight of Swords usually comes out right before somebody makes a bid for their freedom. Right before they say what they've been previously holding back on saying. Right before they make a big move. And again, Gemini, I feel that this is you. I feel that you're proper going against the grain, and that should be celebrated. It's a good thing that you're going against the grain. You're about to make a bid for freedom here. Yeah, Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups. You're finalising some sort of details to your plan this week. And once you finalise those details, I think the world had better watch out, to be completely honest. Because this one is limitations. It can be self-imposed limitations. It can be the limitations that other people's expectations are putting on you. And this one is freedom and freedom of choice. It can, in some contexts, be stifled by choice, suffocated by choice, not making any one solid decision, because there are so many different angles and avenues to take into consideration. There's so many different things that you could do. This one is my kid in a sweet shop card, right? It's like you finally managed to get to the sweet shop, but then feeling overwhelmed by the sheer amount of choice, the sheer amount of tempting looking sweets on the shelf, but there's only a certain amount of money in your pocket, right? That's why it's my kid in the sweet shop. It's like, oh, okay, I've only got this much money, or I've only got this much time. I'm not going to be able to pick everything that I want, so I'm going to have to choose the best. You know, this one's trying something new, taking a risk on something new, but with some kind of limitation at the back of that that's not necessarily a negative, because fuck me, if you gave a child unlimited spend on a credit card in a sweetie shop, you can only guess which way that's going to go, right? Yes, that child will absolutely take advantage and buy. I mean, hell, I'm an adult and I would do that. Right? Never mind a child, I'd do it, right? If someone gave me unlimited spend on a credit card in a sweet shop, I'd buy the whole shop, right? That's just the way it goes. So sometimes, yes, putting limits on ourselves is actually a very good thing, right? Sometimes we need to put limits on ourselves because it's helpful, it's beneficial for, it's for our own good. With this message, I feel that the limitations that you've been putting on yourself, Gemini, though, has been too much. Okay, it's leaned too much one side, where you've not really been giving yourself the freedom and the credit that you should be given. Okay, so it's time to ease up on those limitations a little bit, right? That's why I'm feeling that this is the energy right before you make a big move. Again, because you've got that the buds of growth, new beginnings. You're expanding on something, expanding on your way of doing things, expanding on your way of thinking. Okay, definitely this week, treating yourself a lot better, a lot kinder, which is required. Right, why is this happening? Sage. Okay, wisdom, purification, and harmony. So, sage, it's a cleansing herb, right? Big sigh of relief, I feel, with this sage. Huge sigh of relief. Because it's almost like you're getting out of your system everything that needs to come out of your system, with it being purification. Okay, you're purifying yourself, the air, your energy. I want to say that you're simplifying a few things as well, and it needs to happen, because this is why this is happening. This can also indicate that insight is coming to you, Gemini, from very unlikely sources. Okay. So again, use your discernment. Keep an open mind this week. This one's saying, Gemini, this is happening because it's time for you to get into harmony with your environment, so that you can receive messages, spiritual messages, and act upon them. Okay, this is all about finding your center, right? No longer living in confusion, self-imposed restrictions, being super, super strict with yourself. Okay, this is a freedom of sorts, because it indicates that you're no longer living in discord or disharmony, either with yourself or other people around you. Again, just take it as it resonates. This one's saying that balance is coming through for you, right? The whole process of purification literally removes obstacles that were getting in your way. So in some regards, were you getting in your own way? That's what this card is asking of you. Or was this someone else that was getting in your way? Is you standing up either to yourself or to other people, anyone and everything that was getting in your way? This is why this is all happening now. This is why you're now releasing these restrictions that were keeping you so rigid, so stuck. This is indicating that, Gemini, where things hadn't been making sense to you, it is going to start making sense, because it brings clarity. Okay. This one's asking for you to remain open, because wisdom will come to you. This is all about facilitating communication. Either that self-talk, so you're changing up the way that you talk to yourself, or it's facilitating communication between yourself and another individual that you felt was putting too many restrictions on you, that was too strict, that was being too tight. Okay. So again, take it as it resonates, because not all Gemini are on the exact same path in life right now. Okay. And it's a general read as well, so it can resonate either way. The Tower, interesting position that's coming out in, because it's basically in the reverse. It's not completely in the reverse, it's almost there, right? That's averting disaster. It's dodging a metaphorical bullet, right? It's taking care of business, but doing it in such a way that is non-destructive. Okay, so it's consciously taking care of business. I do feel, Gemini, that you have averted a disaster here, because there's a lot more emphasis that you're putting on your own freedom. You got justice that's coming out squiffy. Yeah. Yeah. I feel that someone possibly tried to hold you accountable for shit that had nothing to do with you. Okay? With justice coming out squiffy, that's unfair energy. The situation was not balanced. It was not equal. It wasn't right. It wasn't in harmony. Right? It can indicate negative karma, bad choices. Eight of Pentacles. Somebody was bending the rules to suit themselves, Gemini. Again, take it as it resonates, but that's no longer happening, because whoever was trying to bend the rules to suit themselves, there's a backfire here, or a backlash. That's not appropriate. That's not going to happen. Right? I feel that you're standing up for yourself, Gemini, and it's long overdue. And I feel that you're holding certain people accountable for definite. We've got paying attention to all of the details here, alongside hard work and dedication, of course. For your reading, this is you doing your due diligence. Okay, and you've clocked where something wasn't right, where something wasn't fair. There's inequality here. Can you tell us more about that message for Gemini, about this inequality? What's this message for Gemini about the inequality? What's going on? Ooh, Temperance reversed with Ace of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Okay. Temperance reversed. That's, I mean, it can be anger because it's tied in with impatience. I'm getting a very forceful energy off of this one. I feel, Gemini, that somebody was not being respectful of your own space, of your own opinions, of your own thoughts, of your ethics, your ideals. They weren't being respectful of you being your own person, basically. And you're holding them accountable for the damage here with that Tower reversed that they've done to your psyche, very possibly with this Temperance being in the reversed position. Why is this happening? Because it's time, and it is long overdue. You can no longer afford to put this off any longer, Gemini. This is literally someone has been, I feel, trying to control you, and they've got no business doing so. None at all. What's in your blind spot? Time. Presence and self-awareness. Yeah. Like, literally, that message gives credence to everything that I've just said right there. About you. Your autonomy, your independence, your self-awareness. You might be doing this subconsciously because you know deep down that this is about you preserving yourself and you keeping yourself safe. Four of Pentacles, let's come out squiffy. Selfish energy. Somebody's been incredibly selfish here, Gemini. Very selfish. And it feels like they've tried to make you responsible for shit that you're not responsible for. I'm surprised the Ten of Wands hasn't come out, because I'm definitely feeling that Ten of Wands energy. Definitely. Wheel of Fortune. Beautiful. And the Six of Wands. Yeah. There it is, in your blind spot. A very positive, beautiful, optimistic result here, because you've refused to carry something here that doesn't belong to you, some sort of burden, some sort of responsibility, blame. I definitely feel that somebody was trying to play the blame game with you, Gemini, and for a while you went along with it. You're not going along with it anymore, because in your blind spot there is a very lucky, fortunate turn of events where you start putting the attention back on you and you recognize this is wrong. This is wrong. I shouldn't be doing this. And so guess what? You stop doing it. That's that big move that you're about to make that I was talking about here with the Moth and the Eight of Swords. Remember what I said about the Eight of Swords? Normally that card comes out for someone right before they're about to make a big move. A huge move. And there it is. So for the most part, Gemini, you've probably been doing this subconsciously. You've been following the signs, you've been following how the energy feels. There's something else with this combination here. Can we take a deeper look into that Wheel of Fortune with the Six of Wands through Gemini? Because that is you getting the attention, getting the accolades that we saw over here with the Moth that you're not currently getting, but you will be getting that. Yeah, Five of Swords. You overcoming your problems, your strife, your adversaries, if this is about other people. You overcoming the bullies. Okay. What's working for you at this time? The Mortar and Pestle. Integration, subtlety and thoroughness. So what's working for you, Gemini, is you're going to be breaking this situation down into more manageable chunks. The Mortar and Pestle is a reminder to go slow though, and to be thorough. Okay, because if you ever tried to use a Mortar and Pestle quickly, it starts jumping out all over the place and making a mess and going everywhere, right? So with the Mortar and Pestle, it's saying, okay, Gemini, go slow, be precise and be deliberate. What else is working for Gemini at this time, please? So do your due diligence and be thorough. Wow, okay. The Ten of Cups, and it's come out in the reversed position, which is an interesting one because it indicates a struggle, a relationship that's going through struggles. It indicates a dilemma, okay? There's disharmony here. And the strange thing, Gemini, it's coming out under the category of what's working for you at this time. So a family or an environment where there is discord and disharmony is providing you with an opening. I don't want to say so that you can take advantage of it, because that sounds like you're up to something manipulative, and you're not doing anything manipulative at all, right? But I can't find a better way to describe this energy, right? So yeah, this disharmony is providing you with an opening so that you can take control and get things back to where they're needing to be, okay? That's the best way that I can explain that kind of energy. How this is likely going to play out? Rain. Again, purification. So that's twice you've had the message of purification. You had it there with the sage message, and you're getting it here now with the rain message. Okay. Cleansing, purification, and hydration. So this one's saying that there is something in your life that does need cleansing. It does need attention being brought to it. Right? And it will get attention being brought to it, and it will be cleansed. Now, this could be a gentle process, like how it's kind of showing you there in the card, right? Or it can be heavy and harsh. It all depends on your approach, Gemini. But either way, something in your life that isn't hydrated, that is parched, that is needing attention, that attention is being brought to it. Rain is very rejuvenating. And guess what? It's also a natural process. Okay? So there's a reminder here that we cannot fight against natural processes, but we can work with them and we can use them to our advantage where necessary. Because that rain, it does serve a purpose. Could you imagine what would happen to the crops if it would never rain? Well, then we wouldn't eat. We'd starve because nothing would grow. This rain, this purification, this cleansing energy, it is what is being required. Because this is coming out under the category of how this is likely going to play out, Gemini, I feel that it's your energy that is acting like this purifying rain in this read. Because you've decided about this situation. I don't know the details of the situation that you're dealing with, right? I can only read the strongest overall energies. Because you've been paying attention to the details of this situation, you've realized, okay, it can no longer continue the way that it has been. Something here needs to change, and you're the one that is bringing in the necessary change. Therefore, you're the one that is, even though you don't want to, with that moth energy, you are in some ways responsible for its positive outcome, because you've chosen to take a stand here. Yeah, 10 of Pentacles. Safety, security, long-term energy. Again, this could be a situation that's going on within your family. Okay, you certainly do have 2 cards pertaining to family environment here, with the 10 of Cups and the 10 of Pentacles. And it's clarified with the Ace of Wands in the reversed position. You're single-handedly stopping a disaster potentially from unfolding, because you're saying something, because you're taking action on something that you know is unfair. You know something's wrong here, and you're taking action on that. You're stopping a disaster from taking place. Okay. What else for Gemini, please? Yeah, the star, there it is. Healing, nurturing, rebuilding. You're doing the right thing. You're absolutely doing the right thing here, Gemini, by speaking up and speaking out. Okay, this is a very positive, very, very healing energy. It's literally your North Star. It's inner clarity. Because you've set out here with the right intentions, with honorable intentions, you're pretty much being guaranteed here to see a positive result because of the intentions that you're coming from. It's beautiful. And if only more people, do you know what I mean? If more people did that, then the world would be so much of a nicer place to live in. The Four of Wands at the bottom of the deck, yeah. Gemini, you're about to hit a significant milestone. So it's important that you don't back down and that you don't shy away now. Let's get you a healing message. Have a healing message for Gemini, please. It's almost like you can see with this situation the writing's on the wall and you're making an executive decision, if you will, before things take a wrong turn. Right, you've got Earth Dragon number 30, and I think it was Capricorn that had this one out as well. So I don't know if you've got dominant Capricorn placements in your own chart, or if you're dealing with a Capricorn. If you are, then you might want to go check out the Capricorn reading, because you might resonate with that as well. Okay, right, so because this is one of my Gallic decks, the Earth Dragon, they say it's pronounced Dreg Talav. And it says, Dreg Talav brings us face to face with our potential. Within us, we have a treasure house of riches, of powers and capacities, which we can learn how to use. In the past, we may have been denied access by the guardian of this treasure. But now we're coming to understand that this sometimes fierce guardian is in reality an aspect of ourselves. So in some capacity, Gemini, you had been getting in your own way, and now you're no longer allowing that. This sometimes fierce guardian is in reality an aspect of ourselves. By coming to know and love the Earth Dragon, we will be able to unlock the secrets of our heart, and at the same time we will find ourselves discovering the beauty and the power that lie within the hearts of those around us and in the very earth itself. And this one is connected to your power, your potential, and your riches. So you're embracing certain aspects of yourself, Gemini, that up until now you might have been denying access to, right? It's connected to shadow work. So you're no longer denying certain aspects of yourself. You're allowing those parts of yourself to take the spotlight, and it's a good move. It's a very good move because it's fueling you with power. Okay, someday you'll forget all of the hurt and the many reasons why you cried and all of the shitty people who have done you wrong. You will realize that the secret to living freely is not revenge, but letting things go and allowing things to unfold in their own way and their own time. So that's a message about releasing grudges, either that you have towards others. I feel that this is more, you're releasing the grudges that you are holding against yourself, right? And that's fueling you with this new sense of purpose and potential. If life gives you shit, make fertilizer and use it to help you grow. Yeah, that's spot on. But yeah, that is what I have for you guys today. I genuinely hope that reading has been helpful. For personal readings with me, my website is phoenixkeiatarot.com. The link for that is in my description box below. Thank you so very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.